Hey guys, so I have some people coming to visit me in New Zealand soon, and they've been asking about what things they need to do to prepare to come. And this just got me thinking that maybe you have some of these same questions. So I decided to put together a checklist of things that you should do before any international travel. So let's get into it. Number 1, make sure all of your documentation is in order. This means that you have a valid passport. Most countries require that your passport is good for at least 3 months after the day that you fly into the country. Just make sure the expiration date is far enough in the future, and make sure you have a passport if you don't have one. Also, visas. Every country is different and it depends where you're from, what the visa requirements are for that country. Sometimes you have to get a visa in advance. Some countries you get a visa once you enter the country. Other countries you don't need a visa at all. That part can be a little bit confusing, so just the internet is your best friend these days. Just Google it, it'll be fine. Number 2, get all of your money sorted. For one, make sure you have the proper credit cards. Contact your credit card company and tell them that you're going to be overseas so they don't mark your account as fraud. And double check that your card will work in that country. For example, some countries in Europe now only accept the credit cards with a chip reader, so if yours doesn't have one, maybe try and call your credit card company and arrange to get one and work that out. Make sure you do this far enough in advance to make sure you get them in time. And another thing, before you get to the country, look up the conversion rates for the currency so that when you get there and you go to your first ATM or however you're going to get out money, you'll know already like what kind of a good rate is, especially if you go to an ATM and then you're trying to get money out in that currency and you're like, I have no idea how many like 10,000 blank blank is. It's just a good idea to like have a little bit of an idea, write it down somewhere so you know what you're getting. Number 3, get insurance. Travel insurance. For international travel, I always like to get this. I think it's really good just for peace of mind. I think it's especially important for any health issues that may arise, any emergencies that happen. You just want to make sure you're covered because medical bills could cost a lot of money if you're somewhere and you need to get help. Your medical insurance that you use at home may actually cover trips abroad. It just depends what you have, so look into that first. The other thing that you might want to get is like trip cancellation protection or insurance for your gear, laptops, cameras, all of that. Some credit cards actually provide travel insurance like that, so just again check what you already have so you're not doubling up. You don't need to spend any extra money that you don't have to, but I think it's always good just for peace of mind. Number 4, get any medical things you need. So depending where you're going, you might need to get shots or pills to take, like malaria pills to bring with you. If you go to your doctor and get a checkup, you can just ask them, say like, hey, I'm going to these countries, what do you recommend? They might recommend you to go to a travel doctor who specializes in those sorts of things. Also, if you have prescriptions that you need to take, make sure you get those filled in advance to have enough for your whole trip, and also bring your prescriptions with you because some things like EpiPens, actually, they might ask to see your prescription. So just make sure you have your prescriptions with you. If you wear glasses or contacts, make sure you have enough of those and make sure it's all sorted, have the right prescription, all of that. Number 5, check for any travel advisories or warnings for the countries that you're going to. Some people also advise that you register with your embassy or register online. There's different databases that you can register saying you're a traveler, and in case any emergencies happen, they'll be able to contact you. That's your discretion. It might depend where you're going, whether you feel you need to do that or not, but something to look into at least. Number 6, figure out your phone. So most phones do not have international plans, and if you use your phone abroad, it's going to cost a lot of money. So usually I will just turn my phone on airplane mode the whole time and use Wi-Fi when I have it. But look into it first and see what you have. There's also usually options to buy international data packages. However, those can be kind of expensive, so another option is if your phone is unlocked, and when you're abroad, you can get a local SIM card, which are usually pretty cheap, and then just use that there. If you're going to be gone longer than a month, I'd recommend calling your phone provider and asking if they can suspend your account while you're away. Sometimes that's free, sometimes it's $10 a month. It just depends what you have, but I'd recommend it so you're not wasting money. Number 7, learn about the country. So just get some basic information. For example, are there certain dress codes that you'll need to follow? Are there certain customs that you'll need to know about? Check the weather for when you're going to be there, and also check if any events or festivals are going on while you're there. Those things will just help you be better prepared, and you'll know what to pack and what to plan for and all of that. Number 8, kind of going along with that, once you know what you're gonna need, just buy any necessary items. I've really found actually traveling around the world, you can buy most things you need pretty much anywhere. Like everywhere has stores. don't be too panicked about having every single thing, but also it's kind of nice to be prepared. So some things that you might need to buy beforehand, maybe if you're gonna do like backpacking, like a good backpack or your suitcase or whatever you want to use. I think making sure you have proper comfortable footwear is super important, because I feel like if your feet are happy, you can just be a really happy traveler. And I think that's one thing that can be hard to find in a different country, because I don't know, people have different size feet and different styles of shoes, and I think just getting some comfortable footwear before you leave on your trip is very important. For me personally. Number 9, this kind of depends if you are doing kind of like a plan as you go trip or a trip where you've booked everything the whole way. But if you're doing kind of like an open-ended trip, like plan as you go, I always like to at least make sure you book your very first night, and then if you know the day you're coming home, at least book the night before you leave. So at least you have those things planned, especially at least the very first night. So just that you know when you arrive to this country, you have a destination in mind and you'll be able to figure out how to get there. I think it just relieves some stress too, just knowing those things and having those things organized. If you're going on a trip where you've planned the whole thing, then you will definitely not be worried about that. So number 10, so since you know where you're going to be staying that night, look into the best form of transportation from the airport or the train station, wherever you're coming from, to your accommodation. Now, I usually just use Google for that. It depends on your budget. Maybe if you have a big budget, you know you're just gonna use a taxi. If you're on a cheaper budget, you might wanna look into buses or what the public transportation is. If you know that you will not have cell phone data in the country, what I like to do is, while I still have internet, I like to get the directions and take screenshots of everything so that I have them saved on my phone. Another thing that I would recommend is that on Google, and there are other apps that do this as well, but you can download offline maps so that you have them on your phone, they're downloaded to your phone and you can still use them. Having those things sorted, or just having kind of a general idea of what you're gonna do, is really nice, so that when you get there, you kind of feel a little bit more at ease and you can just kind of more go with the flow. Number 11, if you plan on doing driving in the country, you might want to get an international driving permit. I don't know if this is really necessary, but I got one before I went on my big trip. If you live in the United States, you can just go to any AAA and get one. It took about 15 minutes. It was super easy. I guess it just depends where you're going. I mean, no one ever asked me for it. I really don't know if you need it, but I think it only costs $15, so I thought like, oh, might as well. Number 12, make copies of all of your important documents. Always bring with you some copies of your passport and keep them somewhere separate from your passport. So like, I like to hide them in some random pocket so that if you lose one or you lose something, you'll have a backup. And then beyond that, any important phone numbers you need or addresses or anything, I usually like to write them down in a notebook, keep them somewhere safe, print out copies of your travel insurance, anything that you might need. Additionally, another thing I like to do is scan my passport and all the important documents and put them in an email to myself so that I have it in my email, and even if I lose everything I have, these days there's always usually computer access somewhere. I have all my stuff online, I can print it out, I can get it from there. Another thing you might want to do is put an email with all of that kind of information to a family member so that if you ever need something, they can send it to you. It's always good to have some kind of backup in case anything happens. Number 13, get all of your electronics in order. Make sure you have any proper adapters that you might need. Find out what kind of outlets they use in the country you're going to. Also check on voltage, because sometimes the voltage is different. So if you're using like a hair dryer or something, sometimes you might need a voltage adapter. Also, I highly recommend getting an external battery pack for your phone so that you always have battery for your phone. And number 14, last but not least, I think this one's very important. So if you're going to a country that speaks a different language, beforehand it's just good to learn some basic keywords like hello, goodbye, thank you. It will make a world of difference. And I think like when you get there and you're able to say like thank you to someone in their language, it's just nicer and you won't feel so lost. You'll feel a little bit better about wherever you're going, and you'll feel like you fit in a little bit more already, just knowing a few basic things. I hope you found those tips helpful and have so much fun on your international adventure, whatever you're doing. Subscribe for more travel videos from me. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.